Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 3 materials. So after the test yesterday, you had a worksheet of factoring. Your factoring was questions when a is 1. So something where the value in front of x squared was a 1. Remember that what you're looking for in those situations, here's a, b, and c. You're trying to find things that multiply to make c, but add to make b. Okay, so that's what happens when a is 1. When a is not 1, you're factoring using trial and error. Okay, there are other methods, but I will not teach them in this class. So if you know another method and you would like to use it, feel free to. Please don't try and teach it to someone else. It might just confuse them. So we are going to use just trial and error in this class, which means what we're going to do is list the factors of a and c, test them until we find a successful pair, and we can always check it by doing the outside and the inside from the FOIL method. Okay, so for question number 1, I'm looking at factors of 3, which is just 1 times 3, and factors of 10, so 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. Okay, and I am looking for the correct pair. Okay, so I know for sure I have a 3x and an x because there's only one pair of factors that can work to make that first one. Okay, now I can try plugging in a 1 and a 10 here. Okay, see, that gets me 13 and 1, so that's not going to quite work. So instead I'm going to use my 2 and my 5. Okay, so I'm going to plug those in. And that gets me 15, 16, 17, which is exactly the number I wanted. So I know I have them in the right place, and I just need the signs, which all of them are positive in this case. So if I know plus plus, I know that these are also plus plus. Okay, so positive, positive. Okay, my second one, my factors of my a, 1 and 2, I only have 2 options. So again, I'm going to start with those. Okay, then I have 28, so maybe I have 1 and 28, 2 and 14, or, not 3, 4 and 7. Okay, any of those work? Notice that this has to be a negative 15 and a positive 28. So when we think about it, in order for this last one to be a positive and the middle to be a negative, I have to have 2 negative numbers. Okay, so negative times a negative is going to get me positive 28. Then when I add them together in the middle, I will get a negative 15. So what I'm looking for is which set of numbers is going to work out for me. So I can try 2 and 14. Okay, so that gets me negative 28, negative 30, so that's too much. Okay, so now I'm going to try 4 and 7. So I have negative 14, negative 14 and negative 4, so that's not going to quite work. Remember, you can always switch them though. So this way I get negative 8 and negative 7, which is negative 15, so that would be my answer. Okay, my next one, for 4, I have 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. Okay, so oftentimes if it has multiple, I will try the one that is not the number in itself or number in 1. I will try that first, and if that doesn't work, then I go back in. So I have 2x and 2x, I'm going to start there. And then 27, I have 1 and 27 or 3 and 9. Okay, and again, I try and start with the one that is not the number. So I'm going to start with my 3 and my 9. Okay, now when I think about this, I have 2 times 9, which is going to get me 18. And then I have 3 times 2, which is 6. And I want those to become a negative 12 in the middle. So think about how you could get 18 and 6 to become a negative 12. So I need my negative 18 plus 6. So that means this needs to be a negative 9 and a positive 3. There's my factors. Okay, my next one, I have 6, so I have 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Again, I will typically use the one that is not the number in 1 to start out with. Okay, so I'm going to pick, I've got 3 and 2 in my factors. I know 5 only has one option, so 1 and 5. I just have to figure out which order they go in. So is it 1 and 5 or is it 5 and 1? Okay, so this way I end up with 15 and a 2. Can I get a 13 out of that? Well, yeah, I can get a 13 if I make this positive and this one negative. So there are my factors. Okay, last two. I have 1 and 4, 2 and 2. Again, I always try the one that does not have that number in it. Okay, for 21, I have 1 and 21 and 3 and 7. So I'm going to try 3 and 7. So it doesn't matter, you could do 7 and then 3, you could do 3 and then 7, you just have to figure it out. So I have a 14 and a 6. So it looks like I want my negative to be with my 7, so I end up with a negative 14 plus 6. So there's my factors. Remember, you can always FOIL it all the way back out, double check, it should get you your original. So if you're like, I have no idea what's happening, pause it, try it, FOIL it back out, multiply it out, okay, you should get the same as the original. Okay, last one, I have 1 and 10. There we go, 1 and 10, and 2 and 5. So I'm going to start with my 2 and my 5. Okay, and then I have 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. So I'm going to start and see if this works. Okay, so that gives me 6 and 10. That's not going to give me 11. What if I switch them? That gives me 4 and 15. Now 4 and 15 I can work with. In order to make a negative 11, I'm going to want this to be negative. So negative with the 3 and positive here. Hey, your worksheet is all about factoring when A is not 1. Good luck, and I will see you guys as soon as I get back. Bye.